Right. I think we're live. I think. Ta-da. I changed my top, especially for Karen. What do you reckon, Karen? You like the top? Guys, I have about 30 vests. A lot of them are the same colour. Now, remember, as it cools down in England, I stop wearing the vests. I start wearing t-shirts and jumpers and hoodies. My skin goes a lot whiter in the winter. In the winter, I get a lot paler. Obviously, I'm very tanned at the moment because I've been on holidays. I've been walking the dogs a lot, so I get a lot browner in the summer. So I've just made myself a lovely coffee. To make it nice, I even put honey in it to make it a bit nicer. Yeah. Hi Karen, how are you? Say hello to Juju. Right. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm fallen right behind. And I have no time to do anything. I don't think I've even got enough time to walk the dogs. But we're gonna 2 videos today. We're doing this is the lawsuit concerning Brigitte Kruse suing Navarone, which is a big deal, isn't it? I never saw this coming. So this YouTube channel, Law and Crime Network. This was posted to me last night. I've not watched it. I have purposely made sure that I did not watch this. Purposely, okay? I want it to be fresh so we can react to it. Do I need to go into detail? Brigitte Kruse is suing Priscilla. She feels she's owed money. Priscilla countersues, claiming elder abuse, which is funny because in yesterday's video, Priscilla said she feels 25. Priscilla's own words. Oh, I don't feel 80. I feel like I'm 25 years old. And then she's suing Brigitte Kruse for elder abuse. Doesn't add up, does it? Now, I do want to review that video again, the Priscilla video. It's a bit awkward because you do get copyrighted when you play that video. The people video is copyrighted, so we have to be a bit careful when we do that video. Right. Obviously, there's another lawsuit, the updated, amended lawsuit, £50 million worth of damage claimed by Brigitte. Come on, all of it is shocking. All of it. Everything is alleged. Everything still needs to be proven. You know, I'm not going to bullshit you guys. What Brigitte Kruse is alleging is crazy. It's like, what? Shocking, like unbelievable. Doesn't mean it's not true. We don't know if it's true or not. Everything is still to be proven. We are very worried about the circumstances of how Lisa lost her life. We're very concerned about it. Yeah? So let's just see what happens. Watch this space. Brigitte has told me herself she can prove everything she's saying, but I also understand. Yeah, Martha, Priscilla said she felt 25. That she doesn't feel old. But anyway, pretty shocking interview with Priscilla yesterday, guys. Honestly, I was like, is anyone falling for this? It had a beautiful setting, beautiful house, beautiful garden, very sort of soft colours. She was speaking in a soft voice. She actually looked pretty good for 80. I just found that the whole thing was set up. I found that whole interview by the People, it's probably in People magazine as well, as a complete setup to try and calm down. That people are very worried that of the unplugging, you know, the do not resuscitate stuff concerning her daughter Lisa Marie, that I want to be the Queen of Gracelands. People are very worried, aren't they? They're worried about the wrongdoing that may have allegedly happened between Priscilla and Lisa and Riley. And many people believe that Lisa was going to sue her own mother before she died. Just all of it is a mess. The stuff in the lawsuit is scary. Yeah. So Priscilla tried to make out as if Lisa and her get on really well. just had the odd few arguments, you know. Of course, she throws in a few little digs about her problem with drugs. I keep saying it, guys. If Lisa was a troubled teenager, why? I'll tell you why. She was dragged away from her father at age 4 to live with a complete stranger. Then she was allegedly abused by Priscilla's boyfriend for years. Allegedly, Michael Edwards. That's why. Even the fact that Priscilla was unfaithful a year after the wedding with the dance instructor. I know she was just a baby, but babies can sense things, can't they? They can sense things. If the mum is out shagging someone, and then at 4 years old, but you know, 4-year-olds can sense things. You get it? This weird thing where Priscilla keeps saying Elvis was the love of my life. Oh my God, I was so devastated when he died. Does anyone fall for it? Seriously, she was unfaithful to him many times. Does anyone fall for it? So everything I say on this show is alleged for entertainment purposes, not a fact, just opinion sharing discussion on YouTube. That's all we are. With Louis in his kitchen. Now, I have made a video this morning demanding that we have the right to defend Elvis and we won't be shut down by these hateful communities, these hateful YouTube channels that are setting up hateful Discord groups to try and shut me down, to try and shut our Defending Elvis movement down, to try and stop us having freedom of speech by abusing YouTube's rules. We ain't having it, mate. We ain't having it. So you need to back off. We will always stand up to you bullies. Anybody that is part of this hate group, shame on you. How do you even sleep at night? You're a bunch of bullies grouping together. Right, here we go, guys. Let's play the video. So, as I just said, I have never watched this. I want to say a special thank you to Law Crime Network. Of course, I'm going to give them a like. Tell them thank you for the video. It's just right. Thank you. Okay. So we've given them a little comment. Please subscribe to this channel. It's a great channel. One of my favorite. It's a very professional channel. Karen said to me, it's a very professional channel. It is. You're right, Karen. Right. So Law, Crime and Network. And if you want to know who Karen is, she's Donna Presley's assistant. Okay. And then we have lots of discussions. And I will be doing a Donna Presley video later. Defending Donna's. She doesn't need defending. She's amazing. Right, here goes.
Well, now Priscilla Presley's son is being dragged into her legal fight with 2 former business partners. Navarone Garcia has just been sued for allegedly not paying for the work they allegedly did for him, and they claim he messed up their deals with Priscilla. There are more allegations that we need to break down right now.
Right now. Now, remember, me and Brigitte talk. We talk a lot. Some people don't like that. I like Brigitte, but as I keep saying, she doesn't know me from Adam. I don't know her from Adam. We're not best friends. We don't go out drinking and partying. We are associates. We are not associates. We are. We get on well when we have a chat on the phone. That's it. Brigitte has always said to me she can prove everything she has said. Everything. She's a family woman. I like her. She has a good heart, I think. Yeah? But I am here on behalf of Elvis and Lisa. Defending Elvis and Lisa. Of course, and Riley, Vinny and Harper. So I will always have that head on. So I will disagree with Brigitte. I will bring up things to Brigitte that I don't think are right. I will say to her the things I feel she may have been involved with, I don't think she should have got involved in. So I will stand up for Elvis and Lisa and Riley, even though I get on with Brigitte. So don't confuse the fact that I get on well with Brigitte Kruse, the auctioneer, as a betrayal. Yeah, I personally think Bridgette's going through hell. I think she's that Priscilla completely turned her back on her and betrayed her. I believe that Priscilla just changed her mind. I do believe that Brigitte tried to help Priscilla. I believe that. I also believe that Brigitte was a good friend of the family and wanted to try and go help behind the scenes, as well as her financial hole that Priscilla had dug herself into. Priscilla had run out of money. Her income had dried up. She was in serious trouble. So Brigitte just wanted to help, but she's a businesswoman. She probably thought she was going to make some money as well as being a friend. Brigitte did trust Priscilla. Priscilla has turned her back on Brigitte. That's a fact. Okay, guys.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, so we have been covering this constantly developing legal battle surrounding Priscilla Presley, who's being sued by two former business associates. And now those same people have just sued her son, Navarone Garcia. Now, before we even get into that, I have to give you the backstory about what we're talking here. So Brigitte, Kruse, Kevin Fialco, the plaintiffs here, the people suing, they are apparent entrepreneurs in the Elvis memorabilia world, and they claim that they helped Priscilla Presley, again, Elvis's ex, manage and profit from her name, her image, her likeness. It's called NIL, but they claim they were ultimately duped, that they were deceived and cut out of future business opportunities because of Priscilla. They accuse her of fraud, they accuse her of breach of contract, intentional interference, conversion, and they are seeking over $50 million in damages. Now, the heart of the lawsuit is that Priscilla allegedly misrepresented her rights to use the Presley name and brand, and she allegedly told them that she owned, all of the rights to her name, image, and likeness, when in fact they claim she had already given those rights up, sold those rights. And as a result, they claim, they argue, they invested significant time and money based on false pretenses. And in an amended lawsuit, and we covered this a lot here already on Sidebar, they refer to Priscilla as a calculated sociopath, a master of deception, a pit viper. The suit alleges that she has this long alleged pattern of exploiting those closest to her for gain. Elvis, her daughter Lisa Marie, there's a big mention of her granddaughter Riley Keough. And I'm going to elaborate on that for a second, because Kruse and Fialco claim, for example, that during Priscilla's 1973 divorce from Elvis, Priscilla had waived all rights to inherit anything from his estate. Now, apparently, she initially received cash payments, car support, but then they allege that she manipulated Elvis into getting more money, later giving her millions and millions. Lawsuit says Priscilla's thirst for power and money was insatiable. The complaint alleges that she put a $494,000 lien on Graceland just months.
Hang on, let me just go back on that little bit. Come on, these words, insatiable. Listen.
Payments, car support, but then they allege that she manipulated Elvis into getting more money, later giving her millions and millions. Lawsuit says Priscilla's thirst for power and money was insatiable.
Elvis was too good. He was too nice, too generous. He wanted to be seen as someone doing the right thing for his ex-wife, his beautiful daughter, who he adored. Now, don't get me wrong, Elvis was also very tough. So he tried to do the right thing. Priscilla was very greedy. Priscilla went too far. When they start talking about the lien, the debt placed on Graceland's, I personally think it was a step too far. I actually think that the second divorce settlement to Elvis that she was not entitled to was cruel. She had to tell some lies to get that second divorce settlement reopened up so he could do it. She went against her promises made in the first divorce settlement. Elvis deserved better. Let's listen about the lien.
The complaint alleges that she put a $494,000 lien on Graceland just months before Elvis's death, and they claim, quote, she exerted undue pressure on Elvis, pushing him to his death.
Pretty right, guys. So much was happening in that 18 months, wasn't it? You got the book, Elvis, What Happened? You've got, obviously, Elvis's health was really doing bad. I do think he had started to get a bit better actually towards the end because he'd lost some weight. He was getting ready for his tour. Ginger Oldham explains to us that he was looking forward to the future. They were planning a marriage. They were doing stuff, weren't they? Elvis had gone to her grandfather's funeral, which was a beautiful story that Ginger tells. I'm a big fan of Ginger Oldham. He had some serious problems with people betraying him, backstabbing him. He must have been going through hell with Priscilla because she was this debt was placed on Gracelands in April of 1977. So this bullshit where Priscilla says they were getting on well, I don't believe it. That a couple of days, she had phoned him a few days before he died and they were best friends. Nah. They were arguing. They were arguing over money and over Lisa. That's my feelings. It's just an opinion.
Yeah, that's the allegation. Oh, and by the way, when it comes to Lisa Marie Presley, the lawsuit, I mean, this is pretty strong too. They say she played a role in her own daughter's death. That Lisa Marie, in her final days, it claims that at the 2023 Golden Globes, Lisa had confided in Priscilla about serious health concerns. They claim that Priscilla basically ignored those. And within days, Lisa Marie was dead.
Right, let's just stop there a minute. So, thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for joining Defending Elvis. We are defending Elvis. We're still here. We haven't been shut down yet. The hateful YouTubers and YouTube channels are trying to shut us down. They're trying to abuse YouTube's copyright rules, YouTube's policies to shut us down. We're still here, guys. But they are trying to put fake strikes on us and fake privacy complaints on us. We're fighting back. We're fighting back. We're still here. We have the right of freedom of speech. Let's keep going, guys.
Allegation being that Priscilla pulled the plug on her own daughter. The suit accuses Priscilla of making a power grab at the hospital, controlling the narrative around her daughter's death, allegedly saying afterward, "I'm the queen, I'm in charge of Graceland."
So obviously all of that is in the lawsuit. Pretty crazy stuff. We have read out the lawsuit. We've gone through the lawsuit. We've even gone through the exhibits with the YouTube channel Down the Rabbit Hole News. I repeat, the YouTube channel Down the Rabbit Hole News is amazing. It reads out the amended lawsuit. We do have it, but it also goes through the exhibits. And obviously the claims that are being made about Priscilla unplugging Lisa are scary. Scary. Of course, Priscilla's lawyer will say it's bullshit, and Brigitte says she can prove everything that she is saying in her lawsuit. Okay, guys?
Now, when it comes to the business disputes with respect to Kruse and Fialco, they allege that Priscilla defrauded them in business by falsely claiming that the NIL rights she no longer owned, that she had said one thing, did another, that she allegedly withdrew money from a shared business account without permission, that she failed to disclose that she was making deals regarding her name, image, and likeness, that she didn't tell Kruse and Fialco. They mention NBC's Christmas at Graceland, that she signed unauthorized contracts, we're talking breach of contract, and they allege that her actions caused substantial financial damage, and they are now demanding compensatory and punitive damages.
Right. I mean, I love Martha's comment. Martha, you're right. Martha has just said, who'd have thought that Ginger Oldham and Donna Presley would become friends with Louis and Defending Elvis, and they support what we do. They support our channel, Defending Elvis. They support Team Elvis. We've come a long way. And I've worked out we've only been going for 13 months. We started on the 8th of July, 2024. Nicola told me. Hi, Nicola. Hope you're well. The 8th of July, 2024, we started as Defending Elvis. And you guys chose the name.
Now we got to talk about this new lawsuit, right, against her son. So they have just sued Navarone Garcia. And here is what it says. I'm going to read it verbatim. Quote, after Priscilla Presley...
So guys, I've never heard this. This is my first time, okay?
approached plaintiffs Kruse and Fialco to invest in her to save her from financial ruin, plaintiffs Kruse and Fialco created various entities to be used to grow Presleys' brand. Plaintiffs Kruse and Fialco invested 7 figures into this endeavor for Presleys' benefit, handling numerous tasks for Presley, including by resolving various threats of litigation, resolving pending litigation, and negotiating various deals for Presley, which defendant Garcia, again her son, was well aware of. Additionally, plaintiffs were tasked with taking care of numerous issues for defendant Garcia. Specifically, plaintiffs spent countless hours negotiating a settlement for defendant Garcia, where he was ultimately paid a 7-figure amount from the estate of his late half-sister, Lisa Marie Presley.
So, there were negotiations, weren't there? Brigitte was acting as, attorney-in-law? Power of attorney? This is where the fans are a little bit concerned with Brigitte, because she got involved with these negotiations with Riley once Priscilla went against Lisa Marie's wishes, the amendments to the trust, the insurance policy. Brigitte got involved in all of that. Obviously, the negotiations, where to be buried, for Priscilla to be buried in the meditation garden next to Elvis. Brigitte was involved in all these negotiations, and I do think that upset fans. That's why I think a lot of people don't trust Brigitte. Now, I have spoke to Brigitte, and she basically says to me she was trying to help. She was trying to help the family. She saw Priscilla as a very, very close friend. They'd been friends for a few years. She loved Priscilla. She loved Priscilla's family. Both families mixed together. Yeah. So the last thing Brigitte was expecting was Priscilla to change her mind and turn her back on her. So there's more to it, guys. Brigitte feels that she was helping.
Further, plaintiffs spent extensive hours overseeing various business issues for defendant Garcia's band, Them Guns. To date, even though defendant Garcia was enriched by plaintiff's services, defendant Garcia has failed to compensate plaintiffs for the value of their services. Further, on information and belief, defendant Garcia convinced Presley to cut off communication with plaintiffs Kruse and Fialco and has consistently interfered with the businesses created to exploit Presley's name, image, and likeness. Okay, so now before I get into what they are suing him for, I want to bring back on, here on Sidebar, Law and Crimes General Counsel, our lawyer, Elizabeth Vulai. Elizabeth, so good to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me on again.
Why do this now? Why sue him? Why sue him now after they've already filed this amended complaint against Priscilla?
Yeah.
Good question. And between you and me, guys, I knew that this was coming. I knew this was coming. I knew that Navarone was going to be included in the lawsuits. Okay? It's a bit of an odd one, We all sort of see Navarone as a bit outside of the box, don't we? Like, he's doing his own thing. I know that many fans are very upset with Navarone, things that he has said about Lisa. Of course we are, yeah? I also know that he's had a very difficult childhood and teenage life, and he's had a very tough time with drugs, drug abuse. A big part of Priscilla's show yesterday was her discussing her son's problems and what she went through trying to help him. Come on, guys. Anyone that's had serious drug problems, anyone that's had a child that is a drug addict, it's horrible. It's horrific. You have to pour your heart out to any mother that is trying to help their child that has got serious problems with drug addiction. So, of course, I can't fault that Priscilla wants to help her son. Any mother wants to help their child with serious drug problems. So I'm not going to go there. It's very obvious that Priscilla is very, very, very close to Navarone. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course she is. And he loves her. It's clear Navarone loves Priscilla. It's very clear. They are very close as a mother and son. But there is a question, guys. The Elvis fans feel that Lisa never got the love from Priscilla that Navarone got. It's a massive concern. It keeps coming up in the comments. Even in this book, there's some concerning details about Priscilla's behavior towards her own daughter, Lisa Marie. Many different reasons. towards the marriages, to Michael Jackson, towards Scientology, towards abandoning her to summer camp, abandoning her so she can pursue her career, you know, through the 80s, 70s and 80s. You know, there is some serious alleged wrongdoing concerning financial situations from Priscilla and her many things. The selling of Graceland's 85%, you know, in 2005. Barry Siegel, Lisa Marie's manager, ripping off Lisa Marie. Priscilla is involved in that, allegedly. So it's a mess, guys. It's a mess. So generally, the fans think that Navarone is the favourite. Would we agree with that? There's a general feeling Navarone is the favourite, and he has said many disgusting things about Lisa Marie.
Yeah, so I think there are two reasons. So some of the things that they're alleging in this complaint against her son, Navarone Garcia, is that they performed certain tasks for him, you know, resolving business disputes with his band. They even say that they helped negotiate a settlement between him and his half-sister, Lisa Marie, when she passed away, involving the estate. So one of the things that they're claiming is they were never paid for that work. And as you mentioned, that they're alleging that he interfered with the contractual obligations Priscilla had by basically telling Priscilla, you shouldn't do business with these people. That's what they're alleging. And then therefore sort of interfering with her contract. So I think they are suing him to try to pursue these claims, and they're saying they weren't paid, that they should be compensated. And then also, I think what they might be trying to do is sort of keep adding sort of further threads into their overall theme of the lawsuit against Priscilla Presley. I think that's why you also see references to the issues that, you know, she had with Elvis in the 1970s, issues with her daughter. It's sort of adding to this. I always say in a complaint, there's the actual claims, but then the themes. What are the themes that the plaintiff's attorneys are trying to get at with the complaint? And I think that's one of the themes, is that, you know, what they're trying to portray Priscilla Presley as is somebody who, you know, gets out of contracts, that has advantageous relationships, that maybe doesn't honor her obligations, and kind of looping in her son here, I think sort of helps to further add to that in their eyes.
Now, I got to say something with my
You know, I mean, I keep saying this, guys. I do believe Priscilla just changed her mind. She literally she signed all the contracts and changed her mind. So Elizabeth said something about Navarone. He said some things, some bad things, Elizabeth. He said some bad things, yeah. Do some research, try and understand what went on, yeah?
job, I'm pretty much exhausted all the time. And when I'm on the road, I mean, I just was at CrimeCon out in Denver. I'm sometimes, you know, homesick. And when life or work is stressful, that you're feeling burnt out, don't you just want to go to that one safe place, that one comforting place, the bed, right? Let's talk about Cozy Earth. So Cozy Earth has these bamboo sheets that are temperature.
Right, okay, sorry, mate. You know, I would, if I had time, I would play your advert, but I'm really sorry I can't. Sorry, mate.
And Cozy Earth makes that happen. Is the goal to put more pressure on her, maybe to settle? Now we're going after your son. And you know, they're throwing, it's making the headlines every day. It's like, you know, first it's what happened with allegedly with Lisa Marie, then Elvis, now your son. Is that a goal here, to put more pressure on her?
I'm sure it could be, because, you know, I think it's one thing to file a litigation against her. She's the one that had the business relationships with these plaintiffs. And the plaintiffs are claiming, well, we also did work for your son. So it's a little bit tough there. But I think that's definitely a tactic of saying, you know, we're not only filing this litigation against you, we're now looping in your family.
And it's interesting that they're doing this here, because as far as I can see, it's a separate lawsuit. It's not like they added him as a defendant. Why is the goal to join all these cases together into one massive trial?
It could possibly be. I think it's a little bit tough to do that, because there are separate claims that they're making between her and between her son. It's similar claims, right? Because what they're alleging against Priscilla Presley is that we did all this work for you, we weren't compensated. But it's tough because they're saying that Navarone, her son, interfered with the relationships that Priscilla had with these plaintiffs. So it's sort of the overall themes are obviously similar, but it's separate actions. So I think it might be tough to join it later on. But I think you were right when you were getting at the pressure to settle. And, you know, what we also saw in the amended complaint that they filed against Priscilla was bringing in letters allegedly written by her granddaughter to Priscilla, and kind of like really involving a lot of members of her family in it.
I had the opportunity to interview Kruse and Fialko's lawyer on a previous sidebar. You can go check it out. And I asked basically, where's the evidence of all this with respect to Lisa Marie and Elvis? And, it is the initial stages of this litigation. He seemed to suggest that there are people who will step forward to corroborate these accounts.
And this is important, guys, because come on, the things that are being said are extreme. Yeah. I keep seeing many people say that, oh, this is just crazy. Anyone that believes this is stupid. Like Trey off Globetrotting Trey, he said it, didn't he? He says it in his comments he actually made a video about it, didn't he? So Globetrotting Trey, please don't think I've got a problem with you. I know you've blocked me, but, I'm entitled to disagree with your views. Now, Trey basically said anyone that believes these accusations is crazy or stupid. That wasn't his exact words, but he basically says it's so obvious that none of this is true. Okay? Now, we can't say that. Let's see what evidence comes out. Let's see how the trial moves forward. I know it's just a civil type thing. It's a money thing, isn't it? Yeah. With lawsuits, the money is like the ultimate decider, isn't it? Even though there's a lot of personal feelings as well. It's, it's very emotional going through a lawsuit, but ultimately it will be money that ends all this. Yeah. So, I just say this to you, Trey. Let's see how it unfolds. I do agree that the accusations are crazy, bizarre, but we don't know the truth.
This was a very bare bones set of allegations against Mr. Garcia. Did they need to include more? I still didn't get a sense of what exactly that relationship was like, what the services they provided, what his understanding. How do they know, for example, that he interfered with his mom's business dealings? I mean, they didn't present text messages. They're saying upon information and belief, right, as the litigation moves forward. But how? That's a serious allegation to make.
It is. And do you know what? To sue someone, again, in the end, there'll have to be a settlement. That the pressure is on, isn't it? Brigitte the pressure is full on to try and either go to trial against these people or to force them to settle. There's obviously a strategy here. Even the fact that it's gone around the world, allegedly, that Priscilla unplugged Lisa. It could be a strategy, couldn't it? It could be a plan to try and force them to settle. It could. It's pretty obvious that Priscilla's reputation now is completely ruined. It's trashed. Priscilla now will always be known as someone that may have wanted to be the Queen of Gracelands and was prepared to do anything to still be the Queen of Gracelands, even allegedly unplugging Lisa. Get it, guys? So remember, we have to think with lawsuits. This isn't a criminal case. This is people saying stories, very bizarre allegations, and then they're fighting it out. They're throwing bombs at each other to see who will give in first and settle, or they're pushing for a trial. Yeah? Okay, guys? This is nuts. This is very, very, very expensive. We are talking millions to fight these lawsuits. Millions. This isn't a walk in the park. So my guess is that Priscilla's head is spinning like a chicken's head.
And you're right, the complaint was pretty brief. There was only 3 causes of action. They can always, of course, amend it and add more information. That's what they did with the lawsuit against Priscilla. In a complaint, it's the plaintiff sort of had to have that advantage in that they don't necessarily have to provide evidence of every single cause of action. That's what the rest of the litigation is for. And judges always say, you have to abide by sort of the 4 corners of the complaint. But it was very bare bones. You're correct. And the issue, one of the claims that they make is interference with contractual relations. So how can they prove? One of the things they have to prove is that he knew about all of these contracts that Priscilla Presley had with these plaintiffs. He intended to interfere. And where's the proof in it? Is it just phone calls? But obviously, we always say the more written proof, the better. Emails, texts, things like that. So maybe they might have it later.
I want to go.
We'll see. if it gets to that point, because don't forget, the lawsuit has been served. Yeah? I mean, I bet you Priscilla's completely shocked that her son has been served, because Brigitte has done an independent lawsuit for Navarone. So it's a strategy, isn't it, guys?
Through those causes of action. Before I do, though, the fact that they have sued him now, do you think this is also a fight in the public? The more it gets media attention,
Definitely. 100%. Come on, guys. Brigitte doing all of these things, it is being fought out in the tabloids, in the social media, you know, on internet, call it what you want. Come on. There is a game being played here. Yeah. Even Brigitte contacting the YouTube channels. It's all about exposure, isn't it? It's all about, right, let's get everything out there. Let's muddy the waters. Let's see if we can get some kind of resolution here. It's all, I really believe it's all about forcing a settlement, honestly.
more now they're accusing her son and Priscilla. Is that a tactic too? Again, maybe goes back to the idea of trying to settle this, but is that a tactic too?
Right, it could be.
Tactic. That's the word, guys. Tactic.
And that's one of the things that was in the amended complaint was they had mentioned Elvis, and they're insinuating she put so much pressure on Elvis that partially even contributed to his death. That I was really surprised to hear about, because
It probably did, guys. Remember what Elvis was going through in 1977. The lien on Graceland, the debt on Graceland, was placed in April 1977. We all know what Elvis was going through in 1977. We know about the book Elvis, What Happened. We know about his health problems, his problem with prescription medication, and many other factors. Yeah, Elvis was going through hell in that last year.
that was, almost 50 years ago. And what does that really have to do with this claim right now? But I think adding in those details about Elvis, about Lisa Marie, and now involving her son, I think it's putting more pressure. And then it also doesn't paint a flattering light. Whether the allegations are true or not, we don't know. But I think it's putting the pressure on in the public eye. And I'm sure anyone in her position would want to correct the narrative if they feel that that's incorrect, which is also, funnily enough, we received news that she's going to be coming out with a memoir. And in the excerpt that was shared today, she had talked about when Lisa Marie Presley was admitted to the hospital. So it's almost sort of seeing, there's lots of reasons why people
Right.
put out memoirs, but, possible wanting to correct the narrative maybe. I think that's
Definitely. Come on, guys. I've always said the memoir is a reaction to this book. I also believe that yesterday's video with people is all about trying to set wrongs to rights. Priscilla's playing a PR game at the moment. How can I change public opinion of me? At the moment, the public think that I'll do anything for money, even end the life of my daughter. Yeah? So there's a big PR game being played out here.
definitely a part of it.
And just for our audience to be clear, in a civil lawsuit, couldn't they call Priscilla and Navarone as witnesses
Ooh, interesting question. Can they call Priscilla and Navarone as witnesses?
and grill them about all this?
Correct. Yeah. So in a criminal trial, you have the right to, even if the charges are being filed against you, to not testify. Civil trial, you can't really get out of that. So if it does end up going that further and it doesn't get dismissed or go through summary judgment, they could absolutely do that.
I want to go through
Interesting. Oh, my wife's here. Okay, guys. That's weird. Let's just keep going and see I'm not sure why my wife's here. It's very early, 20 to 1. Let's keep going.
some of the causes of action here in Garcia's count. So the first one is called common count goods and services rendered. And basically the allegation from Kruse and Fialco is that Garcia owed them money for services that they performed for him that he requested.
So, guys, I'm going to have to go because my wife's here. I'm going to come back, do a part 2. I'm going to come back and do a part 2, guys. Gotta go. I'm really sorry to rush off. I'll be back. Give me